All right, guys, obviously it's kind of gotten a little dark on us this evening, but just a quick story on how I become the owner of this 1989 Ranger GT. All right, several years back, I noticed I would come by this local bar not too far from where I live, and the truck would be parked out front. Now, I don't frequent bars, don't go in bars, so I never stopped to really check on the truck or anything, but I knew that it existed because I see it there in the parking lot quite often. Well, a couple years later, I passed by a local liquor store and the truck was parked out in the parking lot. So I pulled in, parked next to it, and waited for the owner to come outside. The owner, was an elderly lady, or an older lady, I'll say, came out and I began to talk to her about the truck. Uh, she informed me that uh, it was her husband's truck and he had recently passed, and said for sentimental reasons, she at that time was not interested in selling the truck. Of course, I told her, well, I was obviously interested in buying it, and if she ever decided to sell it, that I would be interested. Well, it was several more months, maybe even a year or so. I ran across the truck again. This time it was parked at a local barbecue restaurant here in town. Once again, I pulled in and again parked beside it and waited for the lady to come outside. Uh, Matter of fact, a friend of mine jokingly said that I was stalking this lady, stalking the truck, more like it, I guess. But anyway, she comes out of the barbecue restaurant, and again, I spoke to her about the truck. She remembered me from the time before, and at this point, I had not heard the truck run or anything. I mean, obviously, I knew that it did run because I've seen it at different locations around town and around the county. So, uh, again, I asked her about the whether she'd be interested in selling it, and this time she was a little bit more uh, apt to sell it. I think she said, "Yeah, she would definitely think about it and consider it." So I wrote down my phone number on a piece of paper and gave it to her, and I said, "Listen, if you decide you want to sell it, please give me a call." I said, "I'll pay you $1,000 cash for the truck right now without even hearing it run or anything." And you got to think, guys, at this time, this truck was pretty rough condition. It had a lot of rust on the body. I mean, the fender wells around the back wheels were completely just about rusted out. It had rust all behind the body kit on the doors. I mean, it was just not just surface rust. It was rusted completely through, holes in the doors that extended up maybe 3 or 4, 5, 6 inches above the body kit. Uh, the fenders were about the only thing that were decent on the truck. The bed and the doors were just gone. So she took my number on a piece of paper, and I guess it was probably another 2 or 3 weeks. I was headed down to Memphis, Tennessee on I-40, and my phone rang. I didn't recognize the number. Of course, I answered the phone, and it was this lady. And she says, "Yes, you had talked to me about me selling my truck," and she said, "I've decided I will sell it." And she said, "You said $1,000." She said, "I'll have to have just a little bit more because I've put 2 new tires on the front of it." Now, at this time, it had the stock 14-inch factory wheels on it, which I still have a set of the 14-inch factory wheels. And I think it may be the ones that come off of this truck, or it may have been the ones that come off the 88. I can't remember, but I have a set that I've kept. And she said, "Anyway, I put those 2 new tires on the truck, and they were $100, so I'll have to have 1,100." And I said, "Hey, that's not a problem. Not a problem at all. We can do that." And that's pretty much the story. A few days later, I went to the lady's house, took $1,100 cash, bought the truck, got the title, and brought her home. And this is where she's been ever since. And I've gradually and slowly and methodically, we've worked on it, and I just never can get my money right, and don't know that I ever will, really, but we've got her to what you see today anyway. But that's the story of me. Uh, I'm not going to say I stalked the lady. I'll say maybe I stalked the truck, but my buddy says I stalked her. But either way, at the end of the day, the goal of purchasing the truck was accomplished. So there you have it. Sort of a funny story. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys on the next video.